We'll call this meeting of the County Commissioners to order. Please join us for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good to see everybody today. We'll begin our agenda with the approval of the minutes of our February 21st meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve minutes of the February 21 meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. First thing in the order of business is 2023 cemetery mowing bids.
We're only two.
We have 2 bids.
they've got down there, they're doing the two. That's good. And I thought I read in there where they were doing the other two. Because it tells you in what we put in the paper, two additional. Whatever we did, the house cemetery.
But I said, is it that these guys are going to go out? That's what it says.
No, they're both
Both want the
the
same.
same.
Okay,
That's the way I'm reading.
okay,
Because this is figured off of this, and this is what we just put in the paper.
okay,
These are two additional cemeteries to be moved west of each season.
I see.
That would be these two.
Jay.
Okay. I'll read these out. We have a bid proposal from Affordable Tree and Lawn Care for a total of $26,187.13. And a bid from Jay McAtee for $22,000. I think, well, I'll refer to the attorney in this case. Wouldn't it be proper for us to take these under advisement and turn them over to the Cemetery Commission for their examination and approval?
Absolutely.
And then make a recommendation?
Let them make a recommendation to us, and then we'll make a decision, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll move the motion to turn them over to the cemetery board for their approval.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to take these two bids under advisement and turn them over to the Cemetery Commission for their review and examination, and for them to make a recommendation to the commission. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. There you go. All right, next up will be Community Corrections, Michelle Dudley. Michelle, you're here to present your annual report.
Yes, I have the annual report for community corrections and the intensive jail treatment, and I emailed those to you. There's no action that you have to take. The statute states that we need to present it to both commissioners and council. So that's all on that issue. And the grant applications came out last week for the 2024 calendar, and they're due the end of April, so I need to ask for permission to apply for those grants. And I'll go ahead and, I'm sure each entity that received IDOC funding wants permission to apply again for 2024.
Yeah, I think we better give her permission for that, hadn't we?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the reapplication of funds, grant funding for the Community Corrections Department. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You got that?
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'll admit I haven't read all your report yet. I did look through some of it last night. But anyone that gets an opportunity to see your report should have a different impression of just how busy you people are over there.
Yeah, and as far as the reporting is just getting out of hand. There's more, it's a constant something that they want. JRAC's been formed, and now we have to present reports to them too, so it's constantly changing, adding more to it. Jane, do you want printed copies or?
If you have.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Probation Department, Ryan Siggers is here with the annual report for probation.
Yes, as Michelle stated, we are required to submit these to you, and they were on the email that Michelle sent out. I would point out that as this is part of the DOC grant, our numbers reflect just the adult numbers, but I went ahead and ran just for your information. Our juvenile department also processed 129 juvenile cases last year as well. So that would bring our overall total of cases we processed up to about 1,184 up from 1,029, or 1,000. Yeah. So just wanted to add that in there because we don't, the 1,058 were an additional 129 juvenile cases that aren't included in that number since DOC is concerned about the juvenile cases and the adult cases.
Okay, so there's an additional 100 and some.
Yeah, 129 is what just, well, Jenna and Darian last year processed in that calendar year. So a lot of work for them too.
Yeah, I read that. That was an interesting figure.
Yeah.
I visualized two neighbors debating that. To have 1,058 people in a community our size on probation, one guy's going to say that's too many, the other is going to say that's not enough, and they're both right.
Yes.
So it's still quite a number, you know.
But that includes probationers and when we do our pretrial assessments for the jail. So some of those people may not have actually wound on probation, but we had to assess their cases and spend time, energy, and money processing those reports for the court. So I added those in as well. So that's kind of the big overall, everyone that one of our officers spoke with over the course of the year, created a report on, put information into the state system. That's where that number came from. Yeah. I also was here today. I needed an approval to purchase a new desk. The juvenile reception desk is in bad repair. It's basically an L-shaped table. It doesn't have any drawers or anything like that. And Crystal, our juvenile receptionist, who's been with us 23 years, I think now, requested a new desk, and I figured I would, kind of do that for her. We picked one out that can fit the space. It's not even fancy. I have pictures of it here, but it's $1,037.99 off the quill. It's not even real hardwood. The price of office furniture is outrageous. We have $2,000 in an office furniture line, but that one will fit the imprint of where her space is. And it gives her a set of drawers. She never had drawers before now, so she's kind of excited about the idea of having a place to put her purse and some of her belongings and paperwork that's not in the filing cabinet across from her. So I'd ask that that you would approve us to make that purchase for her while it's still in stock.
I'll make a motion to approve that purchase of that desk for Crystal.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to approve the purchase of an office furniture desk for $1,037.99. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes.
And then I also, we have a line in our budget this year for a new vehicle. We'd started looking for it about a month and a half ago. Lawrence was actually taking the lead on that, and the day after he passed away, we were actually supposed to go to the dealerships and talk. So I finally got back on top of that, and I was able to go, and I found a 2019 Chrysler Pacifica van. We're looking for something that when we do our night visits and we move as a team of 5 or 6 or more, that we can go in one vehicle to kind of for ease of travel and make sure we all stay together. It has 28,000 miles on it, and they're asking $37,593, which is under our budget. We were given $40,000. I haven't had a chance to go back and negotiate with them on the price. I think if I get to talk to Mr. Reedman, we may be able to get that down a little bit. And then we also would ask that we be allowed to trade in our 2 Explorers that we have towards this vehicle. They're both over 17 years old. One of them doesn't currently run. I did somebody to help me jump it or something to get it going to see. But right now they're just taking up space in our parking lot, which is a hot commodity right now, parking spaces with all the construction going on in the new corrections building and everything. So get those out of our way might free up one extra spot. And I think this is I got to test drive it yesterday. It's great. It's cheaper than buying through the new program and everything. And we would have to wait about 6 months to buy through their kind of fleet program, all of that, and it'd be the same money. And this has a better, better engine, better options, seems safer. It's got built-in navigation, so when we're trying to find addresses, places, we can just use that instead of trying to use our phones while, or someone's using a phone while we drive and back and forth, we can just type them into the car. So I think it'd be a good buy for us. We generally keep vehicles 10 to 15 years, so I think this would last us a long time. So I'd ask that if you'd like to look at, had some Experian documents. It has no wrecks, so it was a trade-in. The lady traded it in. She wanted a hybrid, essentially. I mean, it looks like new. It's actually parked in our parking lot. If you wanted to take a look at it, they let us keep it to kind of test drive it and make sure everybody thought it was fine, which everybody thought it was great. It's in really good shape.
I took a quick look at it yesterday over there in the parking lot. Looks like a pretty good vehicle.
Yeah, it's silver, so it'll kind of blend in. We didn't want anything bright red. You're driving around at night trying to locate people. You don't want to stand out too much. Just kind of incognito. Help us move from place to place. And also when we go to our trainings and things, we can just take one vehicle instead of multiple, save on gas. And parking too when they're in Indianapolis.
Do you want to buy it?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
Yeah, we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale, to approve the purchase of the 2019 Chrysler Pacifica. For, what was the price on that, Ryan?
37,593.
$37,593. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, James. Now, as far as the trade-ins go, is anyone aware of another department anywhere that needs
That was my other thought. I didn't know
another
if
used vehicle?
the drug court or anyone could use something. I don't know what he's using.
You said it was, they were 17 years old?
One is a 2004, and the other one's a 2005, something really close to 20. One was bought brand new. Lawrence bought it years ago when it was brand new, and the other one we actually purchased from the city police. It was a detective's SUV, and when they upgraded, they sold it to us for like $500 or something at the time, just to kind of do us a favor when we were down a vehicle. So yeah, they both have 80,000 miles plus on each of them. I mean, the black one that we have, it still runs. It needs some work. The white one, I think, just needs to be jumped and kind of massaged. We have that Impala we've been using mostly to get around when we have to, and then the black one because it's just been more reliable than the white one we purchased from the city police.
Have you talked to the dealer about the
No.
trade?
Not yet. That was something I was kind of trying to negotiate a price first and then say, hey, we have trades. That seems to, in my experience, they get a better price the longer you walk in with a trade. They want to give you a higher price so that the trade kind of offsets and trades something in.
That's, yeah, personally, I got no objection to trade them in as long as we don't wind up giving them away.
Yeah.
And no other department needs them. Right now, I don't know what condition is with everyone else. We might ought to check with everyone.
Yeah, send out an email and just say if anybody try to do it. Would just be moving them basically to whoever, would there be paperwork involved that we need to do, or just here you go, you're Stone County.
Yeah.
And then what do you have, then you'll have 2 vehicles that you actually use, is that right?
Yes, we'll have this van, and then we have a 2014 Impala that we bought in 2015. I think we got through an auction, basically through Gross Motors back then.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
They can check with any other departments, see if they need it. If nobody does, then trade them in.
Okay, let's send out an email to
Okay. With all the details.
all departments
Alrighty.
and see if anyone raises their hand on that.
Will do.
Okay.
I think that's all I had. Thank you very much.
Okay. To make this official, we might ought to have a motion to officially accept and record the annual reports of the community corrections and probation. They have to prove that they presented their annual reports to us.
I'll move with community corrections and probation, we accept their yearly reports, annual report.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to make the official acceptance of the annual reports of the community corrections and probation departments for 2022. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes on that. Okay, animal shelter, Dave, do you have anything today?
Couple things. On February 19th, we had a spay and neuter come up on that Sunday for cats. We had it was opened up for 200 cats. We had 140 of them that came in. And found out of that, one of them was already fixed. So there was 139 that got fixed, and they're shopped for today now. Feral cats that people brought in. So that's a good one. And we got another one coming up in April 8th. All they gotta do is go on our page and they'll see the sign up where they go on that link and sign up the cats up there. And they're doing if you can afford the regular price, they'll let them do it, let you pay. But if you need help, they will help with some grants that they got. So that's where we're at on that. And we got 2 more dates coming in later that I know of. I'm not exactly what dates they are, but we got 2 more coming in after that. So I think we had a good turnout on getting them cats done, you know. But I wish more people in the city and county would try to help out with that. You know, get more cats in there so we can get them done. And that will help on the population to go down. You know, if we get them all spayed, get as many as we can spayed and neutered. You know. But we are working on some that if people want them out, we'll help them out, but they got to help us out a little bit too. And we're shipping them out and trying to get them fixed and trying to get them out to the barns and stuff like that too. Right now, I got about 2 other places I can take them right now, so we're doing pretty good on it. And one place we took out 8 cats out of one place, but the lady started feeding them again, so that's losing the battle there. They got to quit feeding them if they want to try to get this done, you know, getting trapped. I got 2 monthly reports for you guys. I got the copies here. But in January, the previous month, I had 14 dogs on hand and had 12 cats on hand at the end of the month. The current, then in January, we had 7 dogs that we picked up. Then we had 15 surrendered by the public, 1 dog. We had 7 cats that was surrendered by the public. And that totaled up would be 55 animals total. We then put, I had 3 of them that owners request to put down in January. We had 16 sold. We had 10 claimed. So we had 29 on hand. That was 18 dogs and 10 cats in January. Then in February, I'm sorry, we had 5 dogs currently that we picked up as stray, 1 cat that we picked up. We had 12 dogs surrendered. We had 8 cats surrendered. We put 2 cats down because they was in bad health. And then the previous month, we had 28. I wrote the number wrong. Supposed to be 29 total, because I messed up on one. Currently, we had 6 on the currently month that was strays, then 20 that was public. That came up to 54. We sold 17 of them. 8 got claimed. We had 31 total, 14 cats and 12 dogs. And I had 8 people that came in that wanted their animals put to sleep because they was old or sick. And we had two dogs that passed away because of parvo. So for the last 3 weeks, we can't adopt them out because of parvo. So we got to have 10 clear days until we can get them cleared out again. Start adopting them. That would be the 15th of this month because I just had one the other day that had showed up on parvo. So hopefully we got her taken care of. But we're bleaching everything out every day, even the inside and outside the kennels. Trying to keep our feet with bleach or chlorine there so we can wipe them, get them in there to kill the virus. So we're working on that. So hopefully we get it done. We got our white truck back. It's working good. Our solar truck, we got. I had somebody volunteer to take the bed off for free, and we got that off, and it's up there in Rushville. It should be almost done here shortly, putting a new bed on. So we're trying to get everything done. And I do have that the blue Dakota up there in the barn. You know, that needed a lot of work on it. Needs to see if we can try to either get rid of it or something. You know, because not doing us any good sitting there. So,
Okay, you don't use it anymore?
no. Because it was going to take like $2,200 to fix it. Everything on it. That's wrong. Yeah, because you had to pull the engine or the transmission out to put new plugs in. To seal, freeze out plugs. There we go. Sorry, I couldn't think there for a minute. Yeah, but it's just sitting in the barn right now.
What year is that one?
Huh?
What year is that?
That's a 2000. That's a Dodge Dakota. And we even got a shell that goes on it, a heavy metal one. You know, try to get rid of it too with it, might as well. But I think that's all I got right now.
Okay. So you're still in a period of quarantine for the
Yes.
parvo?
Yes, until the 15th.
Okay.
I can't adopt any dogs out, but I can still adopt the cats out.
Yeah, well, I hope you get that stuff killed out.
You're not the only one, I did too. So we was only like 3 days away, and then we had another one popped up on us. So that made we had to do another 10 days. So
Anybody got any questions for David?
Do you still use the red Durango?
not at this time. I I just thought about keeping it for backup for a little bit, but make sure everything's gonna work all right, that we want. But as soon as we get the silver truck back up, I won't need it. Yeah, I don't, is that, Jane, is that still the city's, the Red Durango?
Not sure.
Okay. I think we need to check on that then. If it's not ours, we can give it back to them a little bit. You know, if you guys want to.
We might ought to consider putting together a surplus auction sometime, try to clear some of this stuff up, sitting around.
Plus, I got the furnace that we took out, and it's still in good shape, but it was an LP furnace whenever we went over to natural gas. So I still got that in the closet hut too. That could be up for sale too, you know.
Yeah. So the spare you have is LP.
Mm-hmm. Cause we don't use the LP anymore.
Yeah, you did get natural gas up there. Okay. Well, maybe you might ought to put together a list of what all you have that is surplus.
Okay.
And we figure out a way to get some of that stuff out of your way.
All right. That'd be fine.
Okay.
No, try to get it out of there so we don't have to worry about insurance or anything, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Anything else, David?
Well, I am. Remember that key I told you I lost?
Yes.
The other building? Guess what? My wife found it. It was in the washer right where I thought it was.
Okay. It was right where it was supposed to be then, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, David. EMA Director Wade Walling is here. Wade, do you have anything for us today?
I do. Couple things. The Boy Scouts want to donate an emergency siren to Fayette County. And I want to know if that's something that you as commissioners would like to see. It is a manual siren, so it would have to be stationed somewhere like Central Dispatch. So if we have severe weather, somebody can manually go out and hit the siren and wind it up. But it's extremely loud, but the Boy Scout camp doesn't want it, and they wanted to donate it to us. I told them I'd bring it to the commissioners and see what your pleasure is with that.
Okay, so it's been living down at Bear Creek,
Yep,
and it's a hand crank.
yep.
I'd like to have that in my collection.
Well, I'm calling you whenever we have bad weather and say, they'll get out the siren. But they do want to donate it, so it's completely up to what you decide. I'll be happy either way, and I can work out where it goes and who's going to man it in the event we have an issue.
Okay, now is this a, well, without benefit of seeing it, does it stand on a three-legged tripod?
I don't believe so. I think this is pole mounted. So it's 3 speakers that set on a pole.
Okay.
So you gotta shimmy the pole to crank it.
Well, maybe we can get the crank rate down lower.
Well, if they want to donate it, I guess they could. That doesn't mean that we're going to be using it. You know, I mean, it's. I don't know.
I'll move to accept the donation and we'll figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
And what's your opinion on it? What's your opinion on
I'm either way. From what I've seen, somebody has to be pretty on it to make sure we're alerting the public early enough, and then make sure we're not sending out a bunch of false alarms, because that will just turn people off from listening to it for it. and only use it when we absolutely need to alert the public. But I'm fine with it. You know, even if we don't use it, they donate it, maybe we use it later on. I'm not even sure what kind of shape it's in, because I haven't seen it personally. He just came to my office late last week and said that they wanted to donate it. So.
I'll second that, to accept the donation.
Okay, who's going to take care of this thing, Wade? You?
Well, yeah, I'll probably have to make sure it's all operational and set up.
Okay. All right.
He was hoping he would take care of it.
Yeah, we can give it to the UMass and have them do it from up there.
Yeah.
Before you go on and get any calls, you gotta go wind the siren.
We'll call Clint.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we've got a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to accept the gift of, is this an air raid siren?
It
or-
basically is an air raid siren, it's an emergency alert siren.
Okay, air raid emergency alert siren from the Bear Creek Boy Scout Camp. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There you go.
All right. So next on my agenda, I have found a 2019 Chevy Silverado used truck. Have you all had a chance to look at the information for it? I'm requesting permission to spend the $24,999 to purchase the vehicle. And then after talking with Jane, instead of doing some additional appropriations for things, I think I'm going to request that the county transfer some funding from the vehicle that's not spent towards certain line items like field gear, radio maintenance, because I got to have some radios programmed. We're not actually able to communicate with the state right now because there's something wrong with one of the 155 radios, and I'm not sure what it is. So I have to have a tech come in from J&K, and I have a quote for around $1,700 for that. But the additional funding would be to support the lights and sirens for the truck and the graphics for it. It's a good truck. I have no problems with it. It does have a little bit higher mileage on it, but I've drove it. It runs really nice, and it's actually perfect for what I need with the toolboxes that are on it. It will make things a lot easier for me to get accomplished than having to ad hoc purchase that stuff and then put it on the truck. It's already coming set up the way I need it.
That was four-wheel drive, wasn't it?
Yes, it is four-wheel drive.
I forgot what brand what is it?
Chevy Silverado.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve that purchase of the 2019 Chevy Silverado for the emergency management for $24,999.
So we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to approve the purchase of the 2019 Chevrolet truck with the EMA department for $24,999. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jan.
And then to add on to your auction idea, I have the old EMA vehicle that's really pretty junk, but it may be something we want to add to the surplus list to have auctioned on. Either that or we can take it to the dump and just unload it there. I don't care either way. It's just taking up space. So.
Yeah, okay. We probably need to work on inventory and see how much surplus we do have sitting around. Easy for things to pile up.
Yes, it is. That being said, I've been on 7 different runs now for Fayette County. 2 of them were flood runs. The others were for lines down and assisting officers for other things, traffic direction. I've had about 37 meetings since I've started, and I'm projected to have about 15 right off the bat this month alone, not counting going back and forth to Indianapolis. So I am out traveling quite a bit, just so you all know. That I'm not sitting still. I'm very, very proactive of being where we need to be and getting things accomplished. But we're moving. It may not be fast, but we're doing things the right way, so I appreciate your all support.
Okay, thanks, Wade. Highway Department, Jay Havlin. Jay, do you have anything to report today?
I can tell you what we've been doing, unless you got questions for me.
Well, you can tell us what you want us to know, I guess.
Good afternoon. We been out trying to clean up after the rain we had. We still find a lot of stuff, a lot of culverts and tank cars plugged up. We may be doing that for the rest of this week, I don't know. We're gonna get it as fast as we can. There's some spots I'm not sure we can reach them to get to them, but we'll figure out some way to get them out, get them cleaned out. We've been working on the distributor truck, and until I get some oil to try it, we're not sure how far along we've come on it. I think it's there, but I won't guarantee nothing.
Yeah. Well, we have found out some things we didn't know before, right? We'll see how that works. That'll make it, if we can keep that thing running, that'll make it a lot easier to buy the dump trucks we need.
Oh, yeah. But we're still putting cans in. We was doing that before the rain come. Now we'll go back in as soon as it lets us. I've got a bunch, I got a pretty good sized list where the cans need to go. So.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody got any questions for Jay? Okay, thanks, Jay. Maintenance Director Josh Yarbo, do you have anything for us today?
Yeah. So, the first thing I have is a 144 form to hire John Jones as part-time. He'll be 24 hours max per week. He is currently a participant on Fayette County Drug Court. He's doing really well, and he was the guy that his first month out, he worked for me every single day for free. So good work ethic, and it's a good opportunity to get him in here and give me some help. So.
Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the 144 request for the Maintenance Department for the hire of John Jones. Any further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. 3 ayes, James. Okay.
All right, thank you. And then this is a quote / signing of a contract for Duke. We are wanting some lights in between the annex and the back of the jail. That's not only for safety reasons, but you know it's going to be there anyways once everything gets finished over there. But right now, you know, as far as Wade and I walking up and down the stairs, it's a trip hazard. For the jail officers, you know, if an inmate was to get out and they wasn't too happy, they could be hiding behind the dumpster and Lord knows what happens. Anyways, it's $13 extra onto our bill a month. That's them taking care of the maintenance fees, or the maintenance of the light itself, the install, and that's about it.
John, am I reading this right, that they're going to charge us $1,514?
That's the cost of the light. So the contract, what it does, like the $13 that we're going to add to our bill monthly. So if we break that contract, that's how much money we have to pay for that light.
Oh.
But the $13, that will go towards that for however many years it is.
Duke doesn't do things the way they did years ago. I mean, this, used to, you tell them you needed an OL light, they just come put it up and add it to your bill, and that was it. But yeah, the lighting could be improved back there in that alley.
This is probably similar to what I just had a light like this on our place. It illuminates a lot of space. It's very good.
Yeah. Yeah, the engineer actually came out last week, the lighting engineer, and he came out and got measurements, and he says that's the light we needed to shine all the way up to the front parking lot of Probation, so should be
Yeah,
Pretty
good
good.
for our new, in the future too,
Mhm.
with the women's facility there.
right.
Which building does this get mounted to?
So if you walk in between the jail and the backside of the annex there, it's on that pole right there, and it's going to be shining towards that back parking lot, towards the new wing jail.
I mean, it's just. We've got approved.
I'll second this.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the lighting service agreement between Fayette County and Duke Energy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. They need a signed copy of this thing.
Yes.
Okay.
They executed on the switch.
Other than that, that's about all we got. Repainting over at the jail right now, so should have hired an interior decorator, but it's getting done. So baby steps. It's starting to look better. Things are starting to work.
That's awesome. You've been doing a good job.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Sheriff Zach Jones, do you have anything today?
Yeah, just real quick, I'd like to thank Josh. They are painting, they're working their butts off right now. And our B block cell door is finally fixed. It's been about 4 years now, but we don't have to use a key to get in there anymore. So thanks to him, we finally got that fixed. So the jail's really appreciative of that. It's been a safety concern for a while, and glad to see it's fixed.
Good deal.
Also, the Durango that we got from Reedman's, I just need about 13 signatures on this paperwork. I think that's you, isn't it? That has to sign all that. The final price for that was $18,900. So I think we got a pretty good deal on it. We took possession of it yesterday. We just got to get signatures and whatnot. So
Okay.
pass that to you. Whenever you get it done, I'll take it back to him and we can get it registered to us finally.
Reedman's is gonna have to throw us a little
Yeah.
party of some
Oh,
kind.
yeah, yeah, and we also have, talking about the auction, we got 3 or 4 vehicles that we also just don't run, seized vehicles that we can put in a county auction that hopefully we can get a little bit of money out of.
Well, it sounds like it's time we get an accounting and what kind of surplus we do have. Get some stuff out of the way.
And I mean, there's stuff in the basement of the jail that
Yeah.
we could possibly scrap and get some money out of or auction off, and there's a lot of stuff down there that we can get rid of,
Yeah.
clear up some space.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for the sheriff? Now's a good time to put him on the spot.
I'm also working on our contracts, phone contract. I'm getting close, but hopefully make some moves to increase revenue. Our commission is not where it should be right now, and we've got some different vendors that are saying that they can increase that revenue that we're making. So looking to make that change in the next few months. So So hopefully we can start bringing some more money in on our phone, inmate phone contract.
Yeah, I can't recall what the name of the company we currently use.
IC Solutions is our phone vendor.
Okay, I remember when we started that. It's been quite a while back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, when we started that, we bumped up our revenue significantly, and hopefully with some of these vendors that I'm talking to, that'll increase even more. They've got some new things that inmates can use, and it just brings in more revenue. So we're hoping to sign with somebody and make a little more money for the county.
okay. Well, let us know how that
Oh,
turns out.
How's the food service, how's it working out?
it's not gonna lie, it's not great. We're also looking at different food service vendors. I've got some different quotes, and I think we could save the county some money and avoid lawsuits because of what we're serving the inmates sometimes isn't what we should be, I don't think. I mean, there's calories, there's a dietitian that they're getting the required amount of calories, but sometimes it's not the right kind of calories according to some of the other people I'm talking to. So we're working, again, a couple different vendors, one of them in particular. If we go with them and change our commissary to them, we would be looking at significant savings for the county and hopefully better quality. I got a meeting with Tiger, that's who we're with now, next week to see if they can fix some of these things and see if they can, what kind of pricing they're going to shoot at me. But I know in the last 2 years we've been with them, it's not been great. So we'll keep working on that too. Because that's a big, I mean, you're looking at 3 meals a day. I think $2 a meal is what we're paying for the food service and the food. So if we can get that down at all, and we're serving a couple 100,000 meals a year, so we can save 10 cents a meal. It's a chunk of change.
Yes, all that is a problem, but it's a necessary problem.
Yes, it is. It's like medical.
Yeah. I just had an idea.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Don't say it.
Well, I do know a catering service that could maybe do a little better
I
job.
would love to do that if I had the time and I wasn't doing this. I think that would be a neat thing to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a job, that's for sure. But yes, if you want to come cater for us, we're fine with that. The inmates, I don't know,
Yeah.
they'll all be overweight. And back in the old days when they come to jail at 150 pounds and leave at 300 pounds because Judy would, and she'd feed them good. But now it's not quite like that anymore. Anything else?
Well, it's good to hear. I think that you're going through everything
Yeah.
and, rethinking and looking at things and making sure you're doing things the best you can, so.
Yeah.
We
What's
appreciate
best for the
that.
county and what's best for the department and what's best for the inmates is sort of what what standard that we're going to try to set. So,
Good.
Okay, thanks, Sheriff. County Surveyor Bill Mackey. Bill, do you have anything today?
Yeah, I got a little thing. Somebody approached me about possibly taking down some guardrail in order for them to put an entrance. They just bought this little farm, and here's, I just did a little sketch of what it looks like out there on their photograph. That way you can see the red line down the front. That's where the guardrail is now, off the bridge where it stops. He wants to put the new drive coming around and come between the buildings and going. Right now, the farm was only cattle, and he wants to till it up on. There's about an 8 acre field up here, and he don't think he can. No way to get a semi or combine down through there, and he would like to take down some of that guardrail. And then I haven't told him yet. I just looked at it a couple days ago. He's gonna have to put at least a new 15-20 foot curvature. I wrote new in there. In order to, because if somebody's coming down that road, we don't want them running into the creek. I'd rather hit that guardrail.
Yeah.
But he was just wondering if it's possible, because right now, there's just no way, I mean, and this is the septic field of the house, otherwise he could go right across it, but you can't do that. And he just wanted to know if it was possible to take some of that down, and I don't know, if the highway department can assist it. I mean, I don't know, he's had experience, I don't know if you know him. Yeah, I do, figured you did. And I don't know if he's capable of doing it himself, but any expense, above what's there that he can salvage would be at his expense, of course. But he was just wanting, if you got, the permission, because we own the right of way, that's Bridge 23, out on 250 north. Yeah, and it's, let's see, the address of the house is 6342. He just bought it last fall. It's hard on there. I don't know if you want to go out and take a look at it, just see what you think, if it's possible, Dale, because, you take farm equipment, see if you can get a combine, and, I mean, it's pretty, and it goes down the hill, and that hill between the barn, it's really steep. That's the only way he's going to get up in there. But, I don't know if you want to take a look at it and to make a decision next meeting, or if you want to just go ahead and make one today, but the address of the property is 6342 West County Road 250 North.
That's right there at the bottom of that hill, isn't it?
Yes, before you go around the corner and go back north.
You can't get, yeah, he's right, he can't get up through there.
Yeah, so.
And you've
I mean-
already been out there.
Oh, yeah, I had him last Thursday, and we looked at it, and I was familiar with it, because the previous owner was son was gonna put a house back there, and we did some surveying, and, yeah, there's no possible way to, get back on that hill, except do kind of what he wants to do, but
Now, were we the ones that put the guardrail in?
it was a federal aid bridge back in the '70s, so it was, but we owned the right of way, because we had to own it back then. You had to own it, yeah, we actually owned the right of way in there, and, yeah, that was part of the original bridge project, the old guardrail. And what it does, it comes up to just about that fence where the septic field is, it just angles down into the ground, which is the old style. This way, if we have him do it new, so I'd want at least 20 feet going down wherever he puts his driveway, and then one of those little round ends where, but just something to stop people if they would run off the road. Now, they'd probably hit that guardrail and flip over into the ditch, but, I don't want to run in that creek. That creek's pretty deep. I mean, not only water, but depth-wise as far as banks, but, yeah, that's what he was asking, if there's a possibility that he could do that in order to get up in that field easier. Yeah, because the house is probably 6 or 7 feet above that driveway, and that driveway is probably 2 or 3 feet above that septic field, and then it just goes on down. Like I said, there's not a lot of room to swing anything in there. Try to get up, but like I said, between the barns, behind that little green bin or whatever it is the only way you're going to get up on that hill in order to till it. I don't know, Jay, do you guys do much guardrail? Can you make sure he does it right when he does
Yeah,
get
we
involved?
can check it when he's doing it. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
That's why I told him to call you, because I didn't think that if we was allowed to take that part of the section down or not.
Well, as long as we put that 20 foot down the driveway, I don't think that'll be in order to block anybody from just driving straight to the creek if they do go off the road.
But do we need to change that, or is it okay for the owner to replace it? Or
That's why I was getting ready to ask what the expense was for us.
Yeah, we'd have to see, I mean, he'd have to put his driveway in, and we have to buy the big radius, and then he might be able to salvage some of that other, I don't know, in order to, maybe need totally new for the whole thing, I don't know. Like I said, he just approached me last Thursday, I went out and looked at it.
Are you saying he's gonna put the railing in, or we're gonna put it in? I was kind of confused.
He said he would assist as much as he can. He's got equipment and he's done contracting, work, so he could help he could do it and make a supervisor, he can help them. However, whatever's needed, he said he'll do.
He'll be putting his driveway in. It'd be a good time to put the post in for the railing.
Yeah, he'll have to do the drive
Wherever
first.
it needs to go. He's gonna have to put a can in there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where the water drain out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll put all that in and
Yep.
build his driveway and then rebuild the garden. He has to take it out first to build the driveway. So.
Do either one of you guys see any safety concerns with this? Changing the configuration of that?
I don't think as long as he puts that 20 foot down the,
Well, that'll help. And we might have to put a better sign up there on the hill to warn everybody about coming around the curve. We don't want somebody flying down through there and going off in that thing. 'Cause that could be a bad deal. course, if he does his driveway right, they might just drive right down, after everybody come back out.
Or possibly put some guardrail on the other side of the driveway once he gets it in,
Small piece, yeah,
you know?
to keep them over there.
Yeah. Because it won't matter going up towards that septic field, because he can't go in there anyway, so, because he'll need a fairly wide driveway to get his semis and stuff in and out, and then wherever that, maybe have some guardrail put up farther east there towards the driveway to the house, that's a good possibility. That way, instead of running off the road, they can hit that, and it'd take a pretty good shot. Especially the way it's configured.
Well, I'm sympathetic with the landowner, but as far as our right-of-way goes, I don't want to create an unnecessary hazard
Yeah.
that we may be liable for later. So I'm not familiar with that spot. I'd have to look at it to understand it totally. But, I don't know, you know that spot?
Yeah, I myself, I don't see a problem. Like, there wasn't that.
Only thing be if they come too fast down that hill, because there's a little bit of a curve in it right there, top of the hill. I think if they drive like they got some sense, it's no problem.
You're asking too much.
Then we just maybe have reflective tape on that new,
Pardon me?
and put reflective tape maybe on the new piece you're putting in there.
Yeah, good.
That new curvature thing might be a safety, a help, come down a hill and see a reflector there. So how soon was he planning on doing this work?
I mean, like I said, you could, if you want to wait until the next meeting and go out and take a look at it and see what you think, and yeah, I mean, I'm soon, sooner the better for him, but, whatever, I mean, he's the one that's requesting it, and he's kind of at your mercy, because county owns it, and
Yeah, I don't care one way or the other on that. But there's going to be an expense here for someone, so who's...
I would think he would have to pick up all the extra expense. I mean, if they're purchasing any of the,
Does he understand that?
I think he does, yeah. He's willing to, not only that, I think, and help. I'll just tell him that, that if he doesn't pay for it, it's not gonna get done. I think he's understanding. He's, like I said, he'll come down and help him. He's got his equipment. He could do quite a bit himself, but I would like somebody that knows what's going on, like, I would work with somebody there to kind of oversee it, or at least, if he does need some assistance, do it right.
Right.
I'll move that we give him permission to put this in as long as it's approved by Bill and Jay on the work that's to be done and done at his expense.
Yeah. I'll agree to that if he understands it, those guidelines.
Okay, was that a second?
That's a second.
Okay. We have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to allow the change in configuration of guardrail at 6342 County Road 250 North.
Bridge 23.
Bridge 23. On the condition that the change in configuration by the property owner is consistent with what is with Gordian on the JOC program, and get that process started. I think we'll work. And I think that was Kevin Whitesell's recommendation as well.
So let me go ahead and make a motion that we would join into agreement with moving forward with the Gordian group in their JOC program, which stands for the Job Order Contracting in Indiana. This is a state-approved program that would help us in the bidding or the cost analysis for our air handlers for the jail.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale, to proceed with the jail air handling replacement project through Gordian. That's all there is to their name, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Through Gordian of the JOC program. And I don't know what else, I don't know how else to officially explain that. Is there a particular way you need it, Jane, to make sure that we got everything recorded right?
Yeah.
You think that'll do?
I think so.
Okay. We know what we're doing, even if we don't sound
It's
like
hard
it
to explain.
sometimes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. Okay, we'll get in contact with them and get that process started. Covered the opioid settlement. New business. We have a proposed joint resolution between the commissioners and the council in adopting a digital inclusion plan. Mr. Parker is here. Mr. Parker, would you like to speak to this resolution? You have presented this thing and asked for our participation in it.
Yes, I will. Good afternoon, Commissioners. As we work toward reaching all the points of the county with broadband service, one of the steps that almost every county that's on the same mission that we're on has a digital inclusion plan. And the ones that I've talked to are approved by the county. So we have put one forth to you for your approval. A lot of the things that you'll find in that digital inclusion plan, we're already in the process of doing or have done. There are still some things that we haven't done. We have done speed tests, surveys, feasibility studies. We have become a broadband-ready county a few years back. There is a long laundry list, about 16 items. And they don't necessarily all have to be checked for us to get the service that we want. Internet service providers can make this short work if we can get them to do what Charter is doing in the southern and eastern part of Fayette County right now. We just need Charter all around the rest of the county to close the loop, and then we would be pretty well set as a county. But at any rate, I would ask you if you could approve this, and then we could take it on to the council this evening.
Okay. I don't have, is this it?
Yes.
Pretty much everything in the digital inclusion plan is highlighted in the resolution.
And do we currently have a board
A
for this?
A broadband task force.
You're right,
We
task
do.
force, okay. Are we going by the guidelines in that then for those members?
Yes.
Would this be joint resolution 2023 number 1?
Yes.
Okay. What's your pleasure?
we already have this was put in place in 08, 09, something like that?
Do what?
Did I read in there where this was in place back in 08, 09? This had already been put into place once,
No,
or is this completely something new?
this is something.
I think what he said, there was a task force created in 2018.
Yes, this same task force.
If it was created in 18,
Mhm.
why do we need to update it now? I mean, what changed?
Task force is a group of people. The digital inclusion plan is for lack of a better term, a guideline of accomplishments that the county wants to achieve. We had not done that part. It's one of those boxes that we need to check.
The missing link.
It's been brought to my attention by several people that we don't have a digital inclusion plan, and we're fulfilling that. Hopefully today, with your approval.
By not having it, does that put us in a position of being non-compliant in a way that would cost us something down the road?
It could be a little hangnail that someone would pimp us and say, you haven't really come to the party yet. You know, we see you don't have a digital inclusion plan. All your surrounding counties do. What's the problem with Fayette County? Why you hold out here? You know, could we exist without it? We could, but it's just one of the things we need. It's a small part of the puzzle, but it would be a very obvious one that if we don't do it.
And you said we already have this task force, so who are the members of that task force at this time?
It's about 13 people. Mayor, Dale is, Bob Stewart is, and a lot of these positions carried over. We established in 18, so there's a completely different group of people back then. So it's rolled along with the elected officials. John Pazzi, Michael King here at the courthouse, he's on it. Ben Houston with Hillfi is on it. We have a gentleman out at the high school that's on it, that deals with IT. The three REMCs, Rush Shelby, Henry County, and Whitewater Valley over in Union County. They have been on it up until this point. And then we have people we invite in to be with it. That's kind of the core group that's on it. President of the council, Bob Stewart, he probably didn't know it, but he's on it. Like I say, as these elected positions come and go, we just slide those folks in. When we established it back in 18, that was the core group, about 13 people. I think it says 13 in your plan there as well. So the next broadband task force meeting is the 3rd of April at 4 o'clock.
It's on Monday.
It is on Monday.
Okay.
Jeff, you didn't see anything wrong in it?
I did not see any issues with it. I mean, it's just kind of some of the things somebody might ask for. Some guidance, some goals.
I'll move to approve joint resolution 2023-1.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the joint resolution 2023-1, a joint resolution between the Board of Commissioners of Fayette County and Council adopting the Fayette County Digital Inclusion Plan 2023 through 2028. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. We'll hang on to this signed copy and it can be presented to the council tonight.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
Okay.
One other item, and you may have it on your list, and I'm premature in bringing it up. Any more thought of the 2 individuals for the Regional Planning Commission?
Yes. You and Gertrude made the recommended 2 individuals for appointment to the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission. As of today, we haven't done anything. Well, we haven't had a meeting.
Right.
So, you can act on that or not.
It was Krista Gibson and Jim Spence, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. I'll make a motion that we approve those 2 appointees.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to approve the appointment of Krista Gibson and Jim Spence to the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission to fill 2 vacant appointment positions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, but you have filled my fondest dreams here today. Appreciate it very much. I think, and I'm not going to brag too hard or too long, but I think Fayette County right now is the only county of the 6 that is fully staffed. We have all of our picks with those 2 appointments. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you for your support for the Regional Planning Commission and for economic development in Fayette County. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Dan. We have one council member here. Vivian, did you have anything you wanted to report to commissioners?
No, I have nothing to report, but I would like to, if I could, talk to, have Wade. Could you come up to the microphone again, Wade?
Sure.
Last commissioners meeting I went to, Wade and I had a discussion. Now, this was after the train derailment in Ohio, the first one, or the big one, I guess I would say. There's been another one in Springfield. Prior to that, we'd had a little mishap up off of Eastern, and I had asked him about that because my uncle was EMA director, they called civil defense back in the day, and was also with the Indiana Fire Marshal's office, and went to many train derailments in East Chicago and on the Indiana side to advise on hazardous waste materials. And I asked Wade a question: would you have punctured those tanks? And his answer was no, and expletive no, which I said my uncle would have said the same thing. And then go ahead and tell the commissioner the rest of our conversation about your conversation with the railroad here, and what they did and didn't do.
Right. So, Vivian is correct. I would not have punctured those tanks and burnt that off. That just sent tons of toxic fumes and debris into the air, which East Palestine now is dealing with the fallout from that, right? There are companies that reclaim hazardous materials that could have been brought in and reclaimed that, put it in a safe transport and disposed of it. And now we're seeing our governor is fighting against having that toxic waste brought to Indiana. So when we had our minor train derailment before then, the way I was notified was dispatch called and said, we have a minor train derailment, they're shutting traffic down, we don't know what to do. I said, I've got it. So I started making phone calls and responded up there to check it out, to make sure it was safe. But what CSX, or really none of the railroads do, is report what toxic chemicals, what material is coming through our county, but they should. I did find out that what I need to do is go up to their office and say, I want a list of all hazardous materials that will be coming through Fayette County. How forthcoming they'll be with that is yet to be determined. But part of our threat and hazard identification that we're doing is one part of that is train derailments with hazardous material. And the reason we're doing that is because it's likely to happen. Since East Palestine, there have been 2 other train derailments, one in Columbus, one in Springfield, Ohio.
Yeah. Salt Lake City also had one.
Right.
And one in Florida.
So we're seeing a lot of these happen, and it appears to be a cluster of them, all within a small time frame. And it ranges from anywhere of mechanical failures to somebody pushing the wrong switch at the wrong time. But that being said, the likelihood of that happening here is relatively significant in the terms that we have a track that runs straight through our town with schools, hospitals, nursing homes within a good shot of anything that is hazardous, releasing a plume of either toxic smoke or materials that we would be evacuating most of the city because of. So that is going to be part of our LAPC group. The plans that we developed to respond to that. It's another one of those hazards that people really don't think about until they see it on the news because it's happened somewhere else. And I try to refrain from jumping from topic to topic because we do see things happen in other areas. We have threats and issues when it comes to emergency management that deals specifically with Fayette County, so I try to stay focused on that. Well, train derailment is one of those. Flooding is another, which we just seen last week. We had 2 water rescues last week because of the flooding. Flooding, train derailment, tornadoes, high winds, things like that are more common. But we may go a long time without seeing another train mishap. But then again, what we don't know, they think doesn't hurt us at times, right? So I'm going to be working with CSX. I did get their supervisor's contact information the day they had the minor train derailment, and I've reached out to the state, and they provided me with a higher level CSX representative who may be able to help. But I'm just trying to get us prepared in the event we have something like that. Because I don't want us playing catch up after the fact. I'd rather know that we can respond to it, get people away from it safely than because what we're seeing is we're seeing the companies, the train companies, the federal government's not stepping in and doing a lot, right? And everybody's keeping information back. But I don't want us in that predicament. And if I know what's coming through, then I can make our emergency services understand and see what's coming through the train, and that will allow them to better prepare their response in the event we have an incident.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Before we get to patron concerns, Amanda Stevens has come in. Amanda, would you mind taking these mowing contract proposals with you?
I emailed her and asked her to already, that's why she's here.
Pardon?
I emailed and asked her to already, that's why she's here.
Did you? Okay, I didn't know.
I am that on it now.
Okay.
Today anyway.
Yes, you and the cemetery commission look at those and give us a recommendation.
We'll meet on the 13th, so we'll know by your next meeting.
Okay. Thanks for stopping in.
All right, thank you.
Okay. How was I to know?
You were.
Okay. Anyone have anything under patron concerns? Derek, you got any concerns?
I'm just glad to be here.
Okay.
Riveted here.
Good to see you too. All right. All we got left is claims and payroll.
Move to approve claims and payroll.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve claims and payroll. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. We'll get started here.
You'll see, I'm just trying to be super efficient. So
That
I
was very efficient.
emailing during the meeting.
Zach, I meant to ask about the flooring. You haven't got it yet. Is it this next
He's
week?
going to start laying it Friday afternoon. Should have it done this weekend, I think.
That's good.
Yeah. We just have to move everything, that's gonna be a fun part. Always a fun part. Almost goes over the phone channel, then makes it easier. Yeah, we got a couple, Josh has a couple things we can use, I guess. Carpet company also has
I'm
some
gonna
things
need
that they
Pepsi
say they bring
before
in.
this thing ends
Yeah,
tonight.
appreciate it.
signatures disease need.
Those are just gonna be yours, but yours in several places.
Okay. complicated, gotta remember. Got the one where they want more than one signature. So, sign one there and let Tracy sign there. Okay, Sheriff, we got all your paperwork signed here.
Okay, thank you.
That concludes our agenda for today. Is there any further business? Are we forgetting anything?
Yep, second that.
Okay, we have motion, we've got a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.